Okay, we have a 1-land hand, but we have plenty to do with that 1 land. We're going to keep this. We're also on the draw here, so we'll have quite a few shots to find that 2nd land. Well, potential Spellstutter Sprite next turn is putting a bit of a damper on my Village Rites plans. Let's just hope we can draw that land natural-like. I think I actually might want to play the Carrion Feeder first. Cauldron Familiar, if they counter it, it's not a big deal. I can bring it back later with food. Okay, so they have their 2nd land here. Are they going to Ninja? No Ninja. So they're going to be holding up counter magic, maybe? Looks that way. Okay, we miss on land again. I think we just have to pass here. I mean, we're going to attack with Carrion Feeder first, but I don't want to Village Rites into a counter spell. That would be really bad. Could cast the Cauldron Familiar. Not too bad if that gets countered. Okay, it resolves. That doesn't mean that they don't have a Spellstutter Sprite. No doubt they realize that countering Cauldron Familiar is a fool's game. Snap. If we had the extra land, we could Village Rites in response. That would be pretty decent. We could sacrifice it, put it to the graveyard, so that they can't untap their lands, but I don't think that's very good. Hello, Crown. Nice to hear from you. Congratulations on your leagues yesterday. I heard that you went 4-1 twice. Just not drawing that land, huh? We're going to, I think, start with an attack with Cauldron Familiar, and then we'll sacrifice it to Village Rites, see if we can draw that land. Gotta kill those Delvers, too. No land. I think we put the Fleshbag Marauder in the bin as well, so that we can bring it back with Unearth. No flip. Lucky. I mean, for us, of course. Spire Golem. Oh, that's excellent. Must feel pretty good. You gotta feel pretty confident in your deck choice when you're consistently going 4-1. Okay, we find the land we've been looking for. We could unearth the Fleshbag, but they would just sacrifice their Fairy Seer. So I'm more into playing the Serrated Scorpion. That'll keep the Delver of Secrets back if it doesn't flip. But we're going to need more removal spells here to get rid of their critters. No flip. So if we start playing golden eggs, we can potentially use them to gain some life, but we're going to be slipping away at a speed that's not going to work. I think we probably play Cauldron Familiar and then bring back the Fleshbag Marauder. And in that case, we're going to want to attack with the Serrated Scorpion. Okay, can we get it 3 in a row? No, they just got snap. Oh, that's interesting. They're leaving the Spire Golem back to block. We're going to take 4 here. Nothing we can do about that. Another land, okay. And they have snap in hand. Let's see what we draw with Golden Egg. Maybe we can draw into a Defile. Tempting Witch instead. Gingerbrute. Well, that can at least get through for some damage. And they have 5, 6 damage incoming next turn. Oh, they have a counter spell here for our Golden Egg. Was hoping to draw a card there. We'll put another food on the board, so we can bring the Cauldron Familiar back a couple times. They'll block Fleshbag. We'll sacrifice Fleshbag. And they're going to snap the feeder. Okay. That gets rid of the snap. They're empty-handed again. But we're at 8 life, and that is danger time. We do have 3 life from the egg and 3 life from the cookie. But again, like, they're doing 6 damage a turn if they want to, so that's not going to help us out for very long. Alright, so I don't think there's even anything we can do to survive here, right? Well, I guess no. We could have just attacked for 1 and then used these 2 things. But they're going to do 6 here. We can gain 3 to 5 and then 1 more up to 6. Yeah, we missed on lands for too long. So we got to take 3 more cards out. I would like trimming the Carrion Feeder and Mortician Beetle in this matchup if they're running Snap. These creatures are particularly vulnerable to that, even though they are 2 of our better creatures in the deck. And we'll take out one of the Village Rites. The spell can be very painful if it gets countered. This hand looks fine. Start with the Mortician Beetle and pass. Cauldron Familiar, we don't mind if that one gets countered. We'll probably play Lampad next turn. And I'm actually not interested in trading my Beetle for their Delver. We have 2 removal spells and cast down, so we can get rid of a flip to Delver. Okay, they spell stutter the Cauldron Familiar. And they have a counter spell with their Delver. So we're going to have to be careful of our timing on the cast down. So we'll start with a cast down on their turn to try and kill the insect, and then we'll have another one ready for our turn. to take it down. If they have Spellstutter Sprite, yes, they do. Okay, so that's quite a bit of trouble. They still have Counterspell in hand. I think we keep the cast down until their turn again, so that we can tap down mana on their turn. Like I said before, we know they have Counterspell, so if we're going to run this cast down into it, no need in them untapping their lands immediately after, right? I think finding a Gingerbrute would be pretty sweet. Might be the best draw on the deck. Could sacrifice it to Cat, get 2 counters on our Beetles. Sacrifice the Cat to the Lampad. It's another counter on each of the Beetles, so we'd be attacking for 6. 7 with the Lampad. Okay, so they have Snap for our Beetle. So that's going to slow us down a bit. And there's the Counterspell. And a cheap Spire Golem. Opponent's doing all the things here. They have run out of resources, but they have, let's see here, 4, yeah, exactly lethal on board. Evasive too, everything flies. And Gut Shot for the Beetle. That's really the nail in the coffin. Reaping the Graves. Well, that's not going to do us much good. So we can get Cat back and then sacrifice Cat. I mean, we don't even necessarily need to sacrifice it. Bringing the Cat back will put us to 8, which will get us 1 more turn. But I don't see us coming back from this. The pressure in the air from the opponent is far too much. Still breathing. But at what cost? We also know they have a Spellstutter Sprite in hand. Oh, and they have a snap too, so they were able to snap the beetle up and still keep up the sprite. GG. Okay, what do we got here? This looks like a fine hand. I'm into this. We could go Gingerbrute into Golden Egg. Or we could play Serrated Scorpion first and hope we draw another 1-drop. Let's see what we draw on our turn before we make a decision. Ooh, we're in for something now. Look at this spice. Prickly Bogart. You know what? Our creatures can block their creatures. Let's play Serrated Scorpion. That blocks the Prickly Bogart pretty well. And we took Snuff Out of the deck. So the Fleshbag Marauder here is the replacement. Okay, they're just attacking into it. Let's go ahead and block. Seems good. I guess we vote for death. We probably go for torture, actually. If they're going death, they want to kill our creature. They're letting us sacrifice the Scorpion. That seems pretty good for us. Golden Egg, draw a card, pass back. Okay, we draw a land, so we have access to the Marauder now. Bump in the Night, okay. So yeah, this is a some kind of burn deck. We'll choose death. But yeah, torture wins out, so that's 4, lose 4 life for 2 mana. Golden Eggs are actually going to be quite a help here. So we could play Gingerbrute Golden Egg, or we could play Tempting Witch. I'm in for the Gingerbrute here. But we're probably going to end up using all this food, including the food from the Tempting Witch, just to gain life. Which is Cottage, not bad. Ooh, the Mortician's Beetle is sweet. So we can play Beetle, play Marauder, sacrifice Brute. And we'll have a pretty strong board. Thanks for the host, Chuck. What are the other options? We could play Tempting Witch. And attack with the Gingerbrute. That doesn't seem too bad either. Choices, choices. Tempting Witch also blocks the Serrated Scorpion quite well. It doesn't kill the Scorpion, so we don't have to worry about the trigger going off. They just kind of bounce off each other. Okay, so Black's version of Lightning Helix only hits players. Not expecting an attack here. Like I was saying before, we have a really good block. So they might as well leave it back to block our Gingerbrute. Okay, Geth's Verdict just hits the Scorpion. That's not that interesting. We have Fleshbag Marauder anyway. We could... They have one card in hand. I think the maximum they could do in a turn is 8 for 2 cards. So I don't think we're in danger of dying, so I don't think we have to eat food this turn. We could play Mortician Beetle, Fleshbag Marauder, sacrifice the Marauder, and then put it back on top with a Witch's Cottage. Okay, we sack the Marauder here. They sack their Scorpion. We lose 2, they gain 2. Also get 2 counters on the Mortician Beetle. Always yes, and always yield. That'll make things a little bit faster. And the Witch's Cottage on the Fleshbag. Just in case we need it again. Let's see here, might as well attack here. We have 1 mana open for Village Rites. But 1 mana is not going to get us any food. We'll cast Fleshbag again. I think we might sacrifice the Tempting Witch here. It must be, if we're playing Pauper. Morning, handsome. How does the day find you? Okay, cool. So our deck looked pretty good there. The food was actually doing a bit of work, being able to get back some of that life that we lost. And Fleshbag Marauder was getting rid of what they had as far as blockers go. We didn't have Snuff Out in the deck in the main, so we didn't have to deal with those 3 dead cards. I'm going to want to bring in Unexpected Fangs for some life gain. Jeez, kids. I hear that's a fairly common thing among youngsters, just throwing their clothes away. Nope. Yeah, but you know, they're not outside, right? I mean, that would be a very different thing. I was listening to this podcast the other day, and they were talking about this guy's toboggan. And first thing I think naturally, they're talking about a sled, and they're talking, as the story progresses, about how he's wearing the toboggan on his head. And it didn't make any sense until I realized that some people in the States call a toque a toboggan. This world is insane. Not a huge fan of this hand, but I think it's keepable. We have a Defile for an early creature. We have Tempting Witch for food. Having 3/3 drops with only 2 lands, not great. Hopefully we draw another land or some more cheap things to play. But I think this hand is better than a random 6. Alright, well it's nice to hear you say that, handsome. Lampad is actually pretty nice here, between the Mortician Beetle and the life gain. Okay, so that's a Helix. And another Tempting Witch. So we don't have too many options here. We're just going to attack and then play Lampad. Looking for a land off the top. Because we already have 4 of our 6 3-drops. Well, they missed a land drop. Okay, we miss on land, but we get Golden Egg. So we'll go ahead and cast that. Draw a card. If we're really lucky, we'll draw Swamp. Okay. Gingerbrute's not too bad. We can play that next turn. And Gingerbrute is also a food, so we can use it to gain life. There you go. I actually ended up picking up most of this deck on Modo. I've been renting this copy, so I went out into the market and bought the cards that I was missing. Unfortunately, the Mortician Beetles that I found were common. Okay, we get our 3rd land here, so I think instead of playing the Gingerbrute, I'm more into playing Tempting Witch. No attacks this turn. Bump puts me to 11. but I have 9 life here. So if we get the time to activate all these cards, then we can get back up to 20. Oh, we get even more food. Fleshbag would have also been a very good choice here, but they still have 4 cards in hand and our life total is starting to drop. So I wanted to gain some life this turn. And that also allows us to attack. Oh, they're going to use Village Rites on their Serrated Scorpion. That's going to grow our Mortician's Beetle, but we'll draw them 2 cards, not to mention the 4 life swing. Okay, so what are we going to do this turn? We're at 9, so they could do, I think, 7 next turn, if they get the perfect draw. So I'm kind of into playing Gingerbrute Tempting Witch, get our food onto the board, or we could play Gingerbrute Sack Gingerbrute, and hold up Defile. Yeah, we're going to go with the Brute. It also keeps up removal, although I don't think the opponent has any haste creatures. They should probably be playing Gingerbrute. I think Gingerbrute is going to be way better than that. What was it? Oh man, what was that weird fear creature they were playing last game? They probably took it out. They had a 1/1 fear. Gingerbrute is way better than that. Alright, looks like we're stuck practicing patience for a moment. Tragic Slip is a very good card, but we're running Defile already. So I think that it would be very close between the cards, Tragic Slip and Defile. So yeah, your biggest creature, I think, is an 8/8. The Ulamog's Crusher. There's a 6/5 and a 6/3 that came out recently. Annoyed Altasaur and Boarding Party. Those are both really good cards. Yeah, exactly, the Cascaders. And, of course, Gurmag Angler. Crypt Rats, huh? So we could Defile that, but we might as well just Fleshbag it. Fleshbag will get us a bunch of extra power on the Mortician Beetle. We can sacrifice the Witch and keep a 3/1. And if we draw land, we can even eat a food. Oh, we get Cauldron Familiar. That's a way better thing to sacrifice. Finally getting them back down to 20. Okay, we knock them down to 12. And I think we'll probably finish it off next turn. Ooh, they got to kill my beetle. And I'm out of mana, so I can't use the Lampad here. Soul Reap, really cool card. Guess Verdict. Okay. So I think we Guess Verdict them, eat a food, and attack for 5. So we've eaten 3 times so far. And had a cat trigger. So Tyrant's Choice here would have killed us if we hadn't been eating all this food. As is, our life total is still quite low. Let's see here. We have 4, 5, 6, 7... 8, 9, we have lethal. If we don't attack with Witch. Cool. We have a 1-land hand. We're on the play. It could be good. Beetle into Familiar is a pretty strong start if we find some way to start sacrificing our creatures. But... I got done in last time with my 1-land hand keep as well. We're going to mull. We'll keep this, get rid of a land. So Clam Ego is the one that beat us last league. They were playing Jeskai Affinity at the time. Thriving Moor, naming red. We could play the Golden Egg to draw a card. I think I just want to continue to put creatures onto the board here. Oh, no. Ah, that's embarrassing. I hit the wrong button. So, yeah, I wanted to play the Gingerbrute there, but I hit a button by mistake. And I went through combat. So now I have to decide if I want to show my opponent that I misplayed, embarrassingly play the Gingerbrute, or do I play the Golden Egg? And a swamp. So we are definitely not playing against the same deck that opponent was playing before, and we are definitely drawing too many lands. Okay, they're going to Lightning Bolt the Carrion Feeder. Should have played this Carrion Feeder pre-combat just in case that kind of thing happened. Yeah. So we're not playing as sharply as we could be here. We're going to have to do better. Playing against Jund, we have no chance. It's Jund. You're right, handsome. I'm sorry I'm such a disappointment. Cauldron Familiar is cool. Can make the Carrion Feeder into a 3/3. 4/4 if we want. Thanks, Blind. Played it on Tuesday as well. Had such a good time with it, I really wanted to play it again. But we're also playing against a pair of interesting decks for the last two matches. Played against Mono Black Burn last round, and now we're playing against Jund. First round, we ended up losing to MonoBlue. Knight's Whisper. Okay, they're going to draw some cards, carve out a hunk of their life. What do you got for... MonoBlue is very good. There's no doubt. Mortician Beetle. That's not too bad. We can Beetle and then put Cat back on top of our library. Yeah, the Fall from Favor band did hit them, but they're still good. So we're losing our Carrion Feeder here. So we might want to Witch's Cottage the Feeder instead of the Familiar. MtG bot, fastest bands in the West. Bonder's Ornament. I mean, that's a very, very strong Magic card in the format. And opponent has 6 cards in hand, so they can still do a ton of things. White and red. Oh, Fire Prophecy. Very cool. So we could sacrifice the Gingerbrute through the Cauldron Familiar, but that wouldn't save the Beetle. Okay, so I think at this point we've lost a lot of traction. We can still get in turn after turn with a Gingerbrute, but opponent has 6 cards in hand. They have a ton of mana. They're going to have options. And the top of their curve is going to be very strong. That's a 3-mana Lava Spike. But I guess it's a free Lava Spike because of the party. Coming in for 6. See if we can draw a... That's not what I was looking for, that's for sure. We'll just leave this swamp in hand. That's the hope. Chainer's Edict. Yuck. Well, we'll get rid of the Carrion Feeder, because the Gingerbrute can still attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but they're going to be able to flash back the Edict next turn anyway. Unearth, what can we get? Beetle, Cauldron Familiar, Carrion Feeder, nothing too hot. Looks like I didn't change the deck list, huh? Alright, as soon as we get to Sideboard, I'll switch that. So yeah, that's lethal. So we'll bring the Cauldron Familiar back, and then we'll block the boarding party. Jukabog gets rid of our cat. And there's more. Pulse Marasa? Okay. So I'm just going to go change the deck on Stream Decker. Okay. So that's done. so we're playing against Jund. Could bring in Mesmeric Fiend. Snuff Out is going to hit the creatures that we care about for the most part. I think that we definitely want the Tempting Witch for this matchup. But they're going to have access to some really good removal. Oh, is the Stream Decker still showing D&T? I switched it on the website, but it might take a while to work, or maybe I have to refresh something on the stream. Okay, so the link is definitely working. With D&T, we went 3-2. Okay, we have a one-land hand again. Okay, this is a two-land hand. We could get rid of the Golden Egg. We already have 2 foods in the Gingerbrutes. We'll go Swamp Gingerbrute, Witch's Cottage Gingerbrute, and just start attacking. Ooh, first turn Ash Barrens. So they probably have a Karoo land in hand. Ooh, not bad. I like drawing the swamp here. So we can play the Carrion Feeder as well as the Gingerbrute. Serrated Scorpion, probably not going to end up attacking. Just like I thought. This is a pretty cool trick you can run. You play the Ash Barrens first, and then second turn, tap it, use its own mana to land cycle it after playing the Karoo land. Lampad, right? I think we probably play the Lampad here, as well as the Witch's Cottage for no value. Lampad is going to give us a bit of reach. So once opponent starts playing creatures to block ours, we can sacrifice the creatures that get blocked and continue to clock them. Bonder's Ornament. Okay, they're ramping up. You have a Lightning Bolt here? They do. We could save it. We would have to lose all of our other creatures, but we would end up with a 4/4. I don't think that's worthwhile. And did we forget to play the Witch's Cottage last turn? That's a bummer. Yeah, that's true. They have edicts, so going all in on a Carrion Feeder would be folly. Ooh, the Beetle is excellent, though. Too bad we don't have that extra land. So I'm going to save a mana here so I can use Lampad in response to any removal they potentially cast, instead of playing the Scorpion. Blightning. Okay, well that's the punish. We almost got him though. We have 4 damage on board with the Lampad at instant speed. So we just got to get in for 3 more damage. Another Gingerbrute too. Sweet draw. So I think they probably want to kill the Lampad if they can. They terminate the Beetle. Okay, so we're going to sack it. Oh, weather the storm. Damn. That's quite the storm count, too. Alright, that's going to buy them some time. They go all the way back up to 15. Weather the Storm is one hell of a magic card. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Chainer's Edict. Alright, we'll get rid of one of the Gingerbrutes. Too bad we didn't have a cat. And Bojuka Ball gets rid of our graveyard. So Unearth or Witch's Cottage are going to be dead. We get Snuff Out. Okay. Not giving us any help right now, but we'll get rid of a blocker. That's true. Unearth can cycle at the very worst. Another Snuff Out. Come on, deck. Trolling me now. Almost there. Yeah, that's true. I don't even have to pay the life. If we do, though, we lose access to the Lampad. The opponent only has 2 cards in hand. We are potentially playing into removal. I think I would rather lose the life, just in case they have a removal spell for a creature. think we'll keep the deck as is. Mesmeric Fiend wouldn't be too bad. Be able to pull those big cards out of their hand. But with them running removal, the Fiend can be pretty easily taken care of by a Lightning Bolt, for example. They'll just get their card back that way. I think we're fine like this. Yeah, this is a keep. Good hand. Looks like our opponent kept 7 as well. Ooh, Cauldron Familiar is a nice one. So I think we'll play Feeder, and then next turn we'll play Cauldron Familiar Beetle. Yeah, but what sound did you hear when you said what was that? Did you hear like crashing in the kitchen? Was it something that didn't make any sense? All right, Carrion Feeder to start. Toot toot. Okay, they found themselves a forest. Let's get our thing going. Green mana to cycle Ash Barrens. So their mana is going to be pretty good. If we get land next turn, we can play Tempting Witch, would be really good. That would get our 2 creatures up past bolt range. But we'll see what the opponent does here. This would be a good turn for their removal. Yep, they have Fire Prophecy. We're not going to be able to save the Carrion Feeder from that. Ooh, that was actually a mistake. I was supposed to sacrifice the Carrion Feeder to itself, and that would have grown the Mortician Beetle. So I should have a 3/3. A little bit of a punt there. Whew, for a second I thought that was going to be Cannonade, and that I was going to be totally punished for my Beetle. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I make these misses. I can quite often find them very soon after making the miss, but it'd be a lot better if I could figure them out before I make the mistake. We do find the land. Well, I mean, if I was always making the right decision, then, you know, I might actually cash at GPs. Right. Ooh, yeah, that's something that we're gonna have to experience at some point. I'm into that. Looks like they have a removal spell. Terminate my beetle, maybe. Oh, it's an abrade. Okay. So as is, we missed out on 1 point of damage. Now, when we're playing a deck like ours, 1 point of damage is actually incredibly important. Every point matters immensely. I find that these games can be very sweaty. Ooh, Blightning gets rid of the 2 cards we have left in hand. And Moto even makes me select them. The saddest. Another swamp. Might as well play that so we don't get it blightninged. I think I'm actually going to attack with Tempting Witch this turn. While opponent has no creatures and we can get a couple points in here or there with Tempting Witch, I'm going to give it a shot. Tempting Witch might actually be the way we close it out. Como says it's 9:30 p.m. My clock says it's 8:30. Ugh, Pulsa Marasa, brutal. And Weather the Storm. Okay. So opponent's going back up to 21 here. We are all over the world here. I think we get Tempting Witch back here. Although, yeah, we don't have Mortician Beetle anymore, so the Carrion Feeder isn't all that interesting. Uh-oh, here's the boarding party. And they get a Bonder's Ornament out of it. Very scary. We do have the option to block, but I'm not going to. Could sacrifice the food to get the Cauldron Familiar back, but I want these foods to be able to hit the opponent with. We're going to leave the Serrated Scorpion back to block this turn. Yeah, Newfoundland has to be special. They're like, yeah, 30 minutes ahead. They're the only time zone that goes by 30 minutes. How weird is that? They end up playing the Ash Barrens. Are they out of basics, or do they have a 3-mana spell they want to play during my turn? Gingerbrute. Nice. So we could use Gingerbrute to block the boarding party and then use a Tempting Witch to hit the opponent. We could block with a Tempting Witch and then use its ability on one of the foods instead. I think that's a better line. Uh-oh, here comes the thing. Suffocating Fumes, brutal. So we're going to have to take the hit from the boarding party this turn. Another boarding party. And to weather the storm? Yeah, we're toast. Two-land hand. Feeder, Beetle, Cat. This hand looks great. We even have food to bring the cat back. Start with Carrion Feeder. That is nice island. Okay, Fairy Seer, so we're playing against some sort of blue fairy deck. There are 3 basic variations, MonoBlue, Dimir, and Izzet. Being on the play here is extremely important. It's going to allow us to get in under a Spellstutter Sprite. Oh, hey there, Cherry. How you doing? Been a while. All right, they're going for the Ash Barrens, so we're going to find out that the deck is Izzet. Which one are they going after? They're going after the Carrion Feeder. Well, we're not going to make the same mistake as we made last time. Ooh, sounds like school. Okay, so we can play the Tempting Witch, the Golden Egg, or the Fleshbag Marauder. Fleshbag Marauder is going to get our Mortician Beetle up to a 5/5. Let's do that. That'll get the Beetle out of Lightning Bolt range, and it'll be out of Scred range for a little while as well. If we had time, it would have been nice to play the Tempting Witch or Golden Egg first. so that we could have brought back the Cauldron Familiar to sacrifice. But this is fine. A Lampad. I think we probably play the Witch. Let's attack first. Okay, that gets a counter spell out of the opponent. If we can hit them one more time, the Lampad is lethal. Okay, they're almost ready to scred. If they don't have counterspell, we could Lampad, sacrifice the Lampad to itself. That puts the opponent to 6, and Mortician Beetle would finish them off. That is risky, though. If they have Snap, we would basically lose. What is the Mississauga office, and why haven't I heard of it? Okay, they have a blocker. Really? That is quite the outbreak. I'm going to have to do some research on that. Thanks for pointing that out to me. There's a counterspell. So we lose the Lampad. We do have Golden Egg, though, and that can get us back the cat, as well as draw us a card. But if they have another snow-covered land and Scred, they can get rid of our Beetle. Ooh, okay, no, the Scred just kills the Beetle now because of the 1 damage that we took from the Delver. But they only have 1 card in hand. So it's still fairly close. Okay, one of their cards was a land here, and the other one's a Delver. Alright, let's bring our Cauldron Familiar back from the graveyard. And another swamp. Disappointing. We're going to leave this swamp in hand to bluff something that isn't a swamp. We have plenty of mana on board, so we don't need to worry about that. Our card advantage is quite small. We have Village Rites, the Golden Egg, and that's about it. Mostly we've been focusing on reach through the food package. No attacks, didn't expect one. Ooh, Carrion Feeder, okay. Let's start with an attack. We're not going to give them Counterspell into blocker. Ooh, a Beetle. Probably shouldn't play the Beetle for the same reason I didn't play the Carrion Feeder last turn. But the Beetle could mean lethal. If we sack it, this is 3 damage. Nice. Took the risk and it paid off. So we're playing against blue-red. We could bring in Snuff Out. I think the Fiend is a little bit weak when they're having access to so many removal spells. And Reaping the Graves, definitely. Could also bring in Crypt Rats. Crypt Rats would be a good way to remove several of their creatures in a turn. So maybe we'll go that route. And we'll bring in a pair of Snuff Out over the Geth's Verdicts. Because Snuff Out is free. Okay. This hand is a little bit land heavy, is a little bit heavy on the 3-drops. But the Unearth is going to be very good versus the opponent's deck. So we'll start with Carrion Feeder, and then we'll probably play Witch Cottage turn 2, so we have access to 3 mana on turn 3. Okay, second Carrion Feeder gives us another play for next turn. No kidding, you hear the birds? Wow. The gain is incredible, and the walls are thin. Let's play a Scorpion, see if they counter it. Ah, you got the good gear, huh? What brand? Okay, the Scorpion gets spell stuttered. We could play Carrion Feeder here to attack, but then we might miss out on playing one of our 3-drops. Relic of Progenitus, okay. That's a good one. It's going to eliminate our graveyard, so the Unearth isn't really going to work. We'll probably have to cycle it. Alright, we're going to start with an attack here with Carrion Feeder. If they block, we'll play Tempting Witch. Okay, cool. Nice when work gives you some perks like that. I'm almost at my 10-year anniversary at Canada Post. I say almost, I mean like, I have almost a year to go, but a lot closer than I was last year. So they have the Scred for the Tempting Witch. They're answering our board quite nicely. And they have the mana for the Relic, so our Unearth isn't guaranteed to work. Again, probably better just cycling it. We're not going to get through this Relic. Probably play Golden Egg. No lands on this hand. We're going to have to mull. We can keep this one. We have 2 lands. What do we get rid of? We either get rid of the Tempting Witch or the Defile. I think we keep the Defile. 858. It's a start. Oh, you say it's fixed? Okay, I switched the internet around a little bit. So hopefully that'll work for the rest of the stream. Okay, first turn island's pretty good for us. Gingerbrute. Okay, so we play Mortician Beetle, Serrated Scorpion. Aren't listed as online yet. Weird. And it looks like I am still dropping frames. You're right. That is the problem. Don't talk about China. They don't like it. Okay. Looks like we got some of our viewers back. Hopefully the stream is functioning okay. You know, I'm not too sure. I don't really recognize the Wish packages when they come by, so we do get a lot of mail from China, though. We're going to play the Gingerbrute, and if they have the Spellstutter Sprite, we will Defile it. They do? Okay. Wait for it to resolve. Trigger on the stack. Defile Spellstutter. 7 out of 10 on sequencing. I'm getting better. Okay, let's attack for a few. Now, we could sacrifice the Gingerbrute here, and that would actually do more damage. We would get 6 instead of 5. Okay, they have the Evolving Wild, so next turn they'll have access to red mana and a relic here. No blocker is what I'm hoping. Get rid of the non-creature, the Defile. Oh, Curfew, brutal. So that would have been a reason to keep the Gingerbrute in play. I've forgotten about Curfew. It's been a while since we've seen it. Oh, jeez. Poor Quebec. Well, I think that it's unfortunate, but some unpopular policies had to be made into law in order to save us from ourselves. People continue to go to bars and go to parties, even though we know that there's this infectious disease. So, unfortunately, we can't be trusted to do the right thing. Okay, they have another land, so Skred will kill Beetle. We cannot save it. Fingers crossed. I've said it once, I'll say it again. We've been very lucky here in Nova Scotia. I mean, that's fairly consistently been the case, that the cases have mostly been from out of province coming in. Ooh, they're putting out a Ninja as a blocker here. Okay, we'll play Gingerbrute, Carrion Feeder, sacrifice Carrion Feeder, and attack. We can also make the Gingerbrute unblockable. Okay, they are going to block the Carrion Feeder here. So this is 5 damage. So we can kill the Gingerbrute onto the Carrion Feeder, kill their Ninja, and they'll still take 5. Beetle's pretty fat. Curfew Skred. Okay, they have the one red, so they can kill something. Okay, they hit the Carrion Feeder with the Lightning Bolt, so we'll have to sacrifice the Carrion Feeder to itself. Golden Egg to draw a card. Oh, Fleshbag. If only we had the mana. If we had drawn the Fleshbag instead of Golden Egg, we would have won. So they need land, Skred, or Curfew. For a second, with that one blue, I thought it was curfew. Another relic. Okay. Managed to get there. 3 land hand and 4 1-mana spells we're going to keep. Unfortunately, we don't have a sacrifice effect to go with the Mortician Beetle. So maybe we play the Serrated Scorpion first. It's definitely worth consideration. I think the reason why it's not in this list, first off, the list is quite tight. Secondly, it doesn't quite go with the rest of the philosophy of our list. Infect. We have almost a philosophy of fire with this. Okay, we'll play Gingerbrute and Beetle, and we'll just attack. With the Gingerbrute, we'll leave the Scorpion back to block the Glistener Elf. The upside, though, of Viscera is that it's going to allow you to filter your draws so that you're less likely to be drawing air when you're looking for something in particular. But for the most part, all of our creatures want to be doing damage. All of our spells want to be advancing that idea. So our Serrated Scorpion does damage when it dies. The Mortician Beetle and Carrion Feeder grow and grow and grow. The cat keeps coming back and again doing damage, doing damage, doing damage. So we, while our strikes aren't as large for each card as they would be with Burn, it all kind of comes together with that similar idea. Ooh, Carrion Feeder. That's a good draw. You think you'd take that over the Witch? I really like the Witch, giving us food and also giving us reach. Oh, the Lampad. Okay. That's fair. Viscera costs less. They have Trample here, which is a problem. They're going to be able to just trample over us. They could potentially kill us this turn. The Lampad does have the added advantage that it gives an extra 2-point life swing. Ugh. I don't think we're going to be winning this game, but next game we'll have a lot more removal. Common BA effects. The initialism isn't coming to me yet. What's BA? Blood Artist, thank you. Yeah, those are uncommon for the most part. There might be one at like a large mana cost. Okay, block and sack. Whatever it is, it's definitely going to be too high. We can unearth that Scorpion Use it as a blocker again. Get quite a bit of damage going next turn. Ooh, the Defile, though. That's a good one. We could maybe Defile the Augur to take away Trample. Or we could try and get the Glistener Elf at some point. That's a really good draw. I'm wondering if I want to sacrifice the Gingerbrute. I don't think so. We do the same amount of damage here, so that seems bad. Opponent has 4 cards in hand. I don't want to use the Defile and then get hit with a Vines of Vastwood. Let's just hold it up. Okay, so they're going for it. Maybe I should have killed the Augur. And this is going to make it a 5/5, which means the Defile doesn't work. Yeah, I was supposed to kill the Augur with the Defile. Well, if we can get the Defile to go off, even if they do have Vines, we might still be able to get this going. Pretty sure it is 2015. Okay, we didn't die. Nice. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Close, not quite there. Ooh, Cauldron Familiar. That blocks. Now, if they block with Rot Wolf, we're going to lose some power and toughness off our creatures. Yeah, no kidding. With the loss of Fall from Favor, people are coming back with some interesting decks. Usually I wouldn't see these kind of decks in a league. Might see them in tournament practice. Alright, so how are we going to put on pressure here? I think we just have to attack. Maybe we leave back the Brute and the Familiar, as well as the Defile, so we don't die. Okay, so they are going to block. Ooh, and it only costs a single pip. Yeah, that's really close. Okay, they're going to Giant Growth the Wolf. I think we have to respond. We'll just Defile it. It means we don't have the Defile for their Glistener Elf anymore, but it saves the Mortician Beetle. And that's important too, because Rot Wolf would have drawn them a card if our creature died. Rancor. Ugh. So they got Trample. This could be GG. They have 2 cards in hand. This should be death. They just need any spell. There it is. Close game. Okay, we'll bring in all our removal. We've got to take out 5 cards. Probably Tempting Witch and maybe Lampad. We're going to want to really focus on the removal. Let's bring Crypt Rats as well. There you go, you found it. The 4 mana Falcon Wraith Noble. Wondering if the Mesmeric Fiend is better than the Golden Egg. Being able to take pump spells out of their hand is probably better than playing the draw spell. Okay, let's go with that. Quite a few changes to the deck there. We brought in a lot of sideboard cards. No removal, but we have a Mesmeric Fiend. I think we will need to find more removal than this. This is better. We do have too many 3-drops, but if we can survive long enough to play a Crypt Rats, we're doing pretty well. We'll probably have to get rid of one of the Crypt Rats, keep the Fleshbag. But being on the play, I think, means this hand is good enough. The Garden is a pretty good draw from the opponent when I have a Fleshbag Marauder in hand. So we'll have to go with Crypt Rats first. Ooh, the cast down though. Yeah, I think we'll play Crypt Rats. Because we have the extra land here, I kind of want to just hold up the cast down and try and get the Glistener Elf. And then we can Crypt Rats and have 1 mana up next turn. Because if we if they play land and they could just land grant, Rancor, and we die. Giant Growth. Okay, they could still have vines, but the vines would only give it hexproof, so we would trade 1 for 1, and then we could Crypt Rats and kill. So I think it's worthwhile to try and get the Glistener Elf right now. Oh, they have Ranger's Guile. Okay. Still, same thing. I think it's still worth it. And if they had Mutagenic Growth, maybe they would have played it. Alright, it all comes down to this. Does Crypt Rats work? If they have Muta, we're dead. Okay, we get to keep playing. We have Fleshbag Marauder for their next creature. And we can sacrifice the Carrion Feeder to the Marauder so that we can keep the 3/1. Also, Carrion Feeder doesn't block, so I think it's probably the worst creature in this matchup. They got a lot of creatures. They still have 2 cards in hand. We could still be dead, even after all this from... Oh, Snuff Out! What a good draw. What a good draw. So the question is, do we want to Snuff Out now? If we Snuff Out now and they have Vines, they only counter the spell. Whereas if we Snuff Out on their turn, they could kill us. Okay, I should have Snuff Out before combat, so I would have known that I wanted to attack with Gingerbrute. So we missed 1 damage, 1 point of damage here. Oh, Colony Garden again? They're going to be able to block one of my creatures now. And they put Rancor on it, so they can kill one of my creatures? Lame. Well, whatever they block, I can Village Rites. That doesn't seem too great. Definitely do want a Village Rites here. Maybe I Village Rites the Carrion Feeder? Maybe I am supposed to Village Rites whatever gets blocked. Wow. Bushmeat Poacher. Gaining life, drawing cards. I want to kill the plant. So what would I cast Village Rites on? The Carrion Feeder? Okay, so we'll kill the plant if they block. They might not block. I do have Edict effects, including the Fleshbag. Oh, they're going to ram through? Okay. So we're going to Village Rites the creature they're going to ram through. And Mutagenic Growth. Okay. I don't get the mutagenic growth there. Their creature is still going to die, so they just lost 2 life and a card for basically nothing. Let's put, I think, Crypt Rats back on top. There could have been a couple different things at play there. Maybe they thought the Muta was enough to survive the Marauder. Maybe they thought they were going to do some damage with Ram Through. Either way, we have all the removal, so let's just resubmit. One of the nice things about this deck is that it can bring in a lot of answers to creatures. Kind of wonder how it would do against walls. We would have a difficult time attacking through them, but we would be able to kill their walls fairly consistently. I think eventually we would get grinded out by the value that walls can produce, because they can just draw so many cards. This hand is pretty good against other decks, but on the draw versus Infect, we have no removal besides the Crypt Rats. This is too slow. This hand would be good if we had single Swamp. Even Witch's Cottage would have been fine, because we could double Snuff Out. But no lands, we must mull. Okay, we'll keep this one. Get rid of Unearth and Carrion Feeder. We have Defile ready to go, and we can Village Rites the Carrion Feeder. Alright, we're going to Defile this right away. Defile would be bad versus mutagenic growth, but I think this is too good an opportunity to pass up. Nice, it worked. No mutagenic. Play Cauldron Familiar. We'll sacrifice that to Village Rites next turn. Looks like we're both stuck at 1 mana here. They're going to Rancor the Augur so they can start attacking for regular damage. Nope. So they can block and kill, I guess. Fleshbag. Nice, we get the land. Okay, they're attacking. No blocks. Let's see what they do. Just 2. Okay. Another Cauldron Familiar. I think we just Geth's Verdict, start attacking. Or we could put down Cauldron Familiar, Carrion Feeder. We could also Familiar Rites, try to get another land. We're going to Geth's Verdict. Okay, we get Unearth, but the only target is Cauldron Familiar. So let's just play the spells in our hand here. Cauldron Familiar, Carrion Feeder. They're still missing a land by turn 6 here. That's awful. Oops. Okay, we're going to sacrifice the Serrated Scorpion to draw some cards, see if we can find land. And we do. Okay. Yeah, there's no reason to rub it in. Unless they get really salty, in which case I rub it in. Okay, our opponent wasn't able to find their second land, game 3, so it is what it is. Unfortunate. Managed to finish the league 3-2. This is the deck that we were playing. Gotta say that this deck has impressed me. When I played it on Tuesday, we went to a 4-1. We had some very interesting, very close games. We played against some interesting decks today and managed to get the 3-2. If you're interested in playing Swamps and Pauper, I would highly recommend this deck. Oh yeah. I really enjoy close games, and if you're looking to have some fun while you're playing Magic, then yeah, let's make it close. Let's make it a sweat.